Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in what I consider to be one of the most overpowered tier 10s in Blitz. It's crazy to me that there's people that do not understand why this is an OP tank. The other day, I did my tier list, and one of the comments I read was another person trying to say, how can you put the 57 heavy in OP? It's not fast, it doesn't have good reverse speed, it doesn't have good armor, all it has is damage. And yeah, damage is pretty important. I'd say that dealing damage is probably the most important thing in Blitz. And the 57 Heavy does a lot of damage. It does 1200 in 5 seconds. And if that wasn't enough, it has Shell Reload Boost, which means that you can actually deal that same 1200 in 3.5 seconds. That's insane. 3.5 seconds, 1200 damage. The DPM is pretty good, 2700. That's very solid DPM. Its armor is not great, but it's not bad either. You will definitely get bounces in the 57 Heavy due to how troll its armor is. If your shell doesn't go where you aim, half the time it's just going to ricochet off some goofy angle. And as I always say, troll armor is harder to pen than strong armor. If I'm aiming in on an E100, I load gold, I pen. If I'm aiming in on a 57 Heavy, even if I load gold, if it hits a goofy spot, which I wasn't wanting it to go to, it will bounce. Doesn't matter if I'm loading gold, it's just anybody that aims in on a 57 knows exactly what I'm talking about. Same for the hull. The hull is incredibly troll as well and has some weird spots that just don't like to pen. So Flossie and I took it upon ourselves to play in double 57 Heavy to show truly how fair and balanced this vehicle is. So here we are on, what is this, Nube. And up against us, we have a Caro, IS-7, Rhino, Emil. Okay. Well, you'll notice that the enemy team is running two 4005s. And I told Flossie, I said, we are going to kill those two 4005s. That's exactly what I said. So, right now we're pushing to the heavy flank because this is not a hull-down fighter. It does have 8 degrees of gun depression, but it's not a tank that you want to use on a ridgeline. It's a tank that you want to dump and back into cover. So, ideally, pushing town is the play that we want to make. And I said, we're going to flank and find these 4005s. And lo and behold, look at this. Yep, there you go. Shell reload boost, 383, 777, and 1202. Yep, that's right. Now it's Flossie's turn, and dead. That's right, full health tank, dead. Don't worry, the other 4005 still gets 400 health taken off. Then we have our Marat, who's going to push up, and the Caro. So just like that, 4 autoloaders were able to clear 2 full health tanks in a matter of, what, 30 seconds? It's so dumb. So I'm aiming it on the Rhino, 500, 400, and that should have penned. I legitimately don't know how that didn't pen, but I still took about 900 health off that Rhino. Bro really thought he was in a double shot tank. He was going to outtrade me. Don't worry, Flossie just bounced that Rhino's track wheel 2 times as well. Like, bro, what? Rhino players, I swear, they get away with the dumbest things. But it's alright. I'm up to 2,100 damage already due to my clips, and I'm just going to push up. You know, the Emil backs up. IS-7 is in a position where I can't currently shoot him. Flossie took a bit of a safer route. I just said, screw it. I'm just going to go right on up on this bridge and get as much as I can. So I'm going to wait for that IS-7 to shoot. And then the moment that IS-7 does, now I'm going to start driving up. So here we go. And who am I going to shoot first? Well, we got the Rhino here. There's 371. There's another shot. And then we got the IS-7 right here. Bonk. IS-7 does get the shell back into me. That's fine. I'm already up to 3,200 damage, and Flossie's obviously going to get his clip out. Flossie shoots the IS-7 once, Flossie shoots the IS-7 twice, and that's 1,100 damage. Alright, not too bad. I'm now going to chill and reload. I told Flossie, I said, just drive up at this point. IS-7's not going to kill you. You can take a shot for me, and I'll be able to get the player taken out. And there you go, IS-7 bounces him. Such a good example of the dumb armor the vehicle has. Then I told Flossie, hold back just a second so I can get a shell into the Waffenträger. There you go. He holds back. I'm able to get the clears. Now he's moving up. Game's already over. And that's it. 4,300 damage. Oof. 4,300 damage in that game. We killed 2 4005s in 10, 15 seconds. And that's it. They're dead. And then we do the same thing. I killed a full health Waffenträger, and Flossie killed a half health IS-7. And that's it. The game's over. I mean, how do you counter that, right? This is why the 57 Heavy is so overpowered. Because, sure, it might not have the most armor. Might not have the most mobility. Might not have the most DPM in tier 10. But it doesn't make a difference. The ability to deal 1,200 damage in 3.5 seconds is busted. It's just broken. You can't counter it. It doesn't matter what you're in. You can be in an E100, you can be in a grill, you can be in a 183. This tank will crap on you. It doesn't matter. I hate going up against 57 heavies because the people that drive them usually aren't smart enough to play them right. But it doesn't even matter if they play them wrong, because even if they die, if they YOLO you, they can still take a third to two-thirds of your tank off, and just, that's it. Now you have to play like a wimp for the rest of the game. Now, this battle, Flossie and I both agreed that we should have gone towards town at the beginning of this game, but we had already started driving towards this side of the map, and once you're going one way, you're not going to back out, right? So we're just going to continue going this way, and we'll see what we can do. We started by sitting in this bush. This is a very, very good early game position. You know, I don't like to camp in heavies, but at the end of the day, this is why I sit in the spot, because it gives you nice shells on these players, right? So I get a shell into the 268, I get a shell into the Conf Panzer, and just like that, I'm up to 800 damage. And while I do want to shoot that 268, I also know that poking that, I can't spot the 268. It's got BS camo values, and I don't want to bleed 700 health for a potential 400 damage. It's just not worth it. Bleeding health is never a smart play early game. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave. You know, I've realized this is where you separate the smart players and the not smart players, right? People that say, oh, the 57 heavy isn't that good, are the people that will continue trying to fight hull down over where the rest of our team is there. But I told Flossie, I said, let's just flank. Right? We're not in tanks that are meant to go haul down. We can't fight an E50. We can't fight a VK90. We can't fight a Conf Panzer haul down. But you know what I can do? I can find this Jagdtiger who was spotted here before, get to his side. There's one, there's two, and there's three of shell reload boost, and a full health Jagdtiger just dies like that, and I deal 2,000 damage. Right? How well a tank works is how well your brain works. If you know how to outposition your opponents and you know where to drive your tank properly, you can do very well. That's exactly what I did in this gameplay. Right? I knew that the Jagdtiger was there because Flossie was shooting at it earlier. So I roll off to the side of the Jagdtiger. That player's immediately out of the game. And now we don't need to rely on our armor. We have two 1,200 damage clips flanking the enemy spawn unspotted. Nobody on their team knows we're here. Until that E50 decides to roll around this corner, nobody knows we're here. So I tell Flossie, I said, I'm going to shoot the 268. And the reason why is because this 268's a big threat. He has one shell for the 268. So I tell him, shoot the 268. There you go. He gets the clear. And that's it. That's it. We just killed two tanks. E50M and the 268 both gone. 3,100 damage dealt at this point for me. So now I'm going to reload again. And in 10 more seconds, I have my clip back. Tell me that this is not OP. That's a 2,100 health VK90 right there, okay? I want you to remember that. 2,100 health VK90, okay? Flossie and I are both going to shoot this player. I get one shell into his lower plate, okay? Two shells into his lower plate. And three shells. That was a 2,100 health VK90. Dead. How do you counter that? I mean, yes, I know. You can play your tank smarter. But even then, Flossie and I would have just YOLO'd in. It's so incredibly overpowered what you can get away with in this tank. Look at this. We got a Conf Panzer 70 in front, right? So I'm reloading. Flossie said he's going to take the shot, which he does. I get one shell into the KPZ, two shells into the KPZ, and I get the gold shell into his tank. I'm out to 5,200 damage. He overpokes. Flossie gets the clear. Flossie gets the shot into the Sheridan, and I tell him, watch this. There you go. Sheridan's dead. 275 damage. Ram. That puts me up to 5,500 damage in this game. All that's left is a BZ-75, and that means I'm just going to move on up over here, and I'm going to get, well, a non-pen, because the scent eats the shell, but I get one pen into his tank. I tell Flossie I'm going to let him get the rest of the damage, because I farmed a lot this game. So he said he wanted to get 3k, and he needed one more pen. So I said, you know what, I'll let you get it out. I wasn't gonna steal his damage, especially because I did so well that game. So there you go. 5,976 damage, 275 by ramming. We aced the vehicle, 5 kills. Anybody that tries to tell me that 57 heavy is not overpowered, watch these games and tell me what other tank can do this. It's 2,400 damage in platoon in a matter of 3.5 seconds. There is no counter to that. There's no counter. There's not a single tank which scares me, right? That VK90 was full health to 0. It's just so dumb, right? All you need to do is have your working brain and figure out how to flank or outposition, right? I'm never going to go against, if I see a Concept 1B, if I see a 215B or an AMX M4, I'm not going to try and counter that tank hull down. But what I will do is try and get to the side, especially if I have a platoon mate what are you going to do to counter me, right? You're cooked. That's it. So, yeah, 57 heavy, just an incredibly dumb tank.